Hey guys, it's Justice, and this is JD with Justice, where we talk about everything on your way to getting your JD degree. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a couple of tips to help you get through your first year of law school and some things you can do to make sure that you're successful. So if you watched my first video about how to get ready for your first year of law school during the summer, then you'll know that I said one of the main things that you can do is to get organized. So the follow-up to that will kind of just be to stay organized, and you can do this by making sure that you write down your exam dates so that you know how long you have to prepare for your midterms and your finals, making sure you have your class schedule down, making sure you allocate time to study, maybe hang out a little bit, making sure that your space is neat and organized and clean, free of clutter. And all of this is going to help you kind of just feel at ease with everything that's going on, because there's going to be so many changes in law school. You're going to feel like you can't catch a break at times, so it's going to be best to make sure that you have everything written down, and that way it can kind of stay clear in your mind what you need to do and how much time you need to do it. So this next one may not seem so obvious, and based on your own personal experience and just who you are as a person, you may or may not have difficulty with it. But my tip would be to learn how to say no. Law school is going to take up a lot of time, especially once you first get started, because it's going to have its own kind of a learning curve. So with that being said, you're going to spend a lot of time just learning how to do something and then learning how to do it well. So that means that you're not going to have a whole lot of time to binge watch shows on Netflix, hang out with your friends, go to the movies, hang out with your family. So you have to get comfortable learning how to say no to yourself first, because you could be chilling at home and still not being productive. And then you have to learn how to say no to your family and friends. And if they know you, if they know this is something that you want, more than likely they're going to understand. This can be especially crucial around Thanksgiving. Obviously, you're going to have a break, but it might not be the best idea to go back home. And let me tell you that those few days are so important, because it's going to kind of kickstart your prep for your finals. So you can really use that to update your outlines, study, and kind of just get things in order for that last push at the end of the semester. So this tip is going to be super obvious. You're probably going to hear it from a lot of the other law schools once you get to school, but start your outlines on time, okay? Okay, so I forgot to mention this in the video, but outlines are basically just like an overview of the class, and they include the material you learn throughout the semester, and you basically use them to study for your doctrinal classes like torts, property, and contracts. This is going to be super, 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 super important. Like I said, you're going to hear it a lot from other law students, even though some of us don't always do it, including myself. But it's a huge, 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 huge help. I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure that you have that started and ready to go by the time you get ready to really, really, really study hard for your finals. I would suggest maybe starting your outlines about maybe 6 weeks into the semester, but you definitely want to make sure that by the time midterms come around, or whatever midterm period you would have, even if you don't have an actual exam, that you have a completed and fully updated outline. That way, as the semester progresses, you can kind of just update it on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and that way by the time you get to finals, it's for the most part ready for you to go, and you don't have to spend hours upon hours upon hours making sure that you have an outline. You really want to use that time to actually study the outline and not just make it. This will also help you kind of just keep track of what you really know, what you kind of know, and what you don't know. And then you can use that information to kind of go to your professors during office hours and make sure that you just have more of a comprehensive understanding of the material. So again, because I can't say it enough, start your outlines on time. This next tip also probably going to seem super obvious, but that is because it is so critically important, because it's going to help set the tone for the rest of your law school career, and that is to brief your own cases. You don't want to have to go to commercial resources or to other students and use their cases, because that's not going to help you understand, one, how to brief a case, and two, what the case is actually about. Also, this can be important because some professors like to highlight one aspect of a case over another, so that can be super, super, super particular to their own flavor or style or whatever it is you want to call it. So if you have kind of just like a general case or a case from another student, they may not even include the information that you need to ace that cold call, which is really what you want to do. You want to make sure that you understand the case, understand the material, extract from it what you need, and then use that information if you get called on in class, so you don't embarrass yourself. Even if you do bomb a cold call, like I promise you it's going to be all right. It happens to just about everybody and you will get through it. Reading cases and briefing cases is also kind of its own skill. So learning how to do that in and of itself is going to be able to help you throughout law school and in your career as a lawyer. Even if this takes a really long time at the beginning, you still need to make sure that you're doing it for all of your classes. I know for me personally, I would get home from class, I would, maybe get something to eat. I would start reading my cases, and that would be just about all I did for the rest of the day. But it does get easier with time. You do get better at it. So it is really important to put that time in. So this next tip is something that's probably not so obvious, and you may or may not hear it depending on the culture of your school and who you have around you and your support group. But please be patient with yourself. Law school has its own challenges and its own learning curve, and this is more than likely, no matter what kind of experience you have, is going to be to some degree new to you, and that's okay. You just have to learn how to take your time. Like I said, be patient, and you will get it. It will get easier. You can do this. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You're going to have some tough times and probably a couple of failures along the road, but that doesn't mean that you can't get your JD degree, and it doesn't mean that being a lawyer is not for you. It's just something that you have to go through to be able to get to that successful point in your life. Okay guys, those are just some of the things that I have for you, some tips and tricks to make sure that you get through your first year of law school successfully and with your sanity intact. Some of these things I didn't do until about halfway through the semester, so don't worry. If you're at that point, you can still get through the semester successfully and ace those exams. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content.